Hello, it's Judith here. I've talked to a number of clients recently about the benefits of looking at things from another perspective. There is always another viewpoint to any situation, problem, relationship. But when we're in the middle of it, it's very hard often to move ourselves out, which is the value of some aspects of therapy, that there is somebody on the outside can actually point out to you what's going on. So for instances, I may have a client who comes in and has obviously had a bad day, and there's no point in moving on to anything else without letting them just do a brain dump of the day. And it could be something, oh, this went wrong, that went wrong, and it took us hours to fix it. We couldn't get hold of the right people, and I'll say, did you learn anything from that? Yeah, we now know the right person, or we now know how to fix the problem ourselves, or we now know we need to change a procedure, or whatever. But there's always some learning in a problem that's been fixed. There is always learning in the things that you feel you've done wrong or made a mistake with. And I hear this quite a lot, well, I did this, or I should have done that, and it could be current or it could be historical. In NLP, we talk about the fact that there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. Now, it took me a while to get used to that one, I have to say, so, take it slowly. But yeah, you do something wrong, you make a mistake, you say the wrong thing to somebody. There is always learning in that. And that means you will do it differently next time. So there is always a different perspective, instead of focusing in, as we all do, on the I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that. Stand back and say, okay, how should I have done it? How should I have handled that? What would I do differently next time? It's a classic thing that we use in business, but it applies to every aspect of life. What would I do differently next time? Now, next time will be slightly different, but you will be better prepared. The other perspective that I commonly talk to people about when they're telling me all the things that are wrong with them and how they talk to themselves inside their own heads. I say, well, if your best friend came to you and said the things that you've just said to me, what would you say to them? And there is a completely different conversation. So the conversation with me when they were telling me was, beating themselves up, basically, bringing themselves down, telling themselves how awful they were, etc., etc. The conversation with a friend is supportive, helpful, encouraging, totally different. I frequently say we wouldn't talk to another human being the way we talk to ourselves inside our own heads, and that's crazy. Who is the one person that's going to be with you from the beginning to the end of your life? And that is you. And any steps that you can make towards being your own best friend are really, really valuable. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, but some things, there's no good in anything. And again, just going back to my own situation this year, so far, it's going to be better. From the spring equinox, things are going to change, if not before. Yes, we lost my ex-husband, my children's father, and the granddaughter's granddad. But some good did come out of it. As a family, we spent 5 days with him when he was on end-of-life care, and we were focused on nothing else. Work, petty issues that happen in all families, everything was forgotten. School, exams, all was forgotten. We were there for one purpose and one purpose only. And we came together as a family. And it's still very evident that the relationships have been positively affected by that. We had friends we hadn't seen for years because life just gets in the way, and we'd moved away anyway, so there's a 2-hour distance between us now, who came up the night before the funeral. We had a lovely evening. You know, despite what was going to happen the next day, we had a lovely evening, and it was as if we hadn't been apart. So even in those extreme situations, there is another perspective. You can always see the good in the worst of situations, and you can always see the good in yourself, no matter how lacking in confidence and self-esteem you're feeling. And you can always see the good in a problem, and the value of having experienced it. Even if you didn't solve it, you can think about how you would handle it next time. And there is a lovely NLP technique which enables us to gradually extend our perspective. So first of all, it's quite close, and then you move back, and then you move back again. And I found that really useful when I was training, and I worked on a relationship in that case with somebody that wasn't as good as it could be. And I found that extremely valuable. So if you're struggling with anything that I have talked about, then there is a technique, a number of things. I've just mentioned one that we can do together to help. But otherwise, just think about, even every cloud has a silver lining is a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. There is an awful lot of truth in it. So if you're struggling with anything at the moment, try and stand back and look at it from a different perspective, from a learning perspective, or how I would do things different perspective, or what's come out of this that is good, even though the situation itself is horrendous. Or just ask yourself the question, if I was talking to a friend instead of myself in my own head, how would I be talking now? And switch to the second conversation, not the first. Okay, lovely to talk to you, and I will see you again next week. And until then, be nice to yourself. That's my challenge for the week. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Okay, bye.